Hey guys, Sublord here, back in with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Masterverse new Eternia! Anti-Eternia! Which seems redundant to me, but whatever. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Anti-Eternia He-Man, brought to us by the fine folks over at Mattel, and I gotta be honest, this guy's the dud of the wave. Out of the whole wave, this guy is probably the least interesting and the least impressive because it is just, you know, evil, black, and red He-Man. But at the end of the day, it's still freaking Anti-Eternia He-Man, so you know if he's the dud, the wave is going to be a case of oops, all bangers. So, before I get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Anti-Eternia He-Man has to offer in terms of accessories, because he's got quite a spread, starting with 3 frickin' power swords for some reason. This one's a little bit more traditional looking. This one we're getting a little gnarlier. This is like full bore, like demonic, evil bringer of death sword. This is a really cool sword. Is it Mythic Legion's cool? Probably not, but it's really freaking cool looking. Kind of just looks like the sword is evolving as it changes form there. We also get this big shield, which is really cool. It's got some wings on it. It's got like a demonic skull face here. I want to figure out whatever this thing is. That said, we do have some scabbards in the shield. Unfortunately, we do have the holder on the back, so you're not going to have enough swords to really take advantage of this. But you can put this one here in the middle. I assume that's where that one goes. I'm just double checking here. Yeah, I would stick this one in the middle because it's... maybe not. Stick it on the end there. There we go. I'll put that one there. This one can go in the middle. Maybe this one should go over here. You know what? This one's going over here. And then this one goes here. It actually does kind of click into place. Yeah, maybe not. This one will go over here instead. There we go. And that one there. And yeah, you kind of get a pseudo Wolverine claw out of that, which is pretty freaking cool. Personally, though, I like to leave these 2 swords in the shield, while the other one goes in his back on the holsters, so I will leave those there. And I don't actually have to pop his hand off to get the shield on. I do to get it off, but I don't have to get it on. He does have this helmeted hairpiece, much like the King Randor we looked at earlier this year. You can just pop the hair off. This is just regular He-Man hair, which is pretty uninteresting. And I will say, mine had some scuffage on the head. I tried my best to smooth that out with a nail file, but, you know, it ain't perfect, but it ain't nearly as bad as it was, so I guess I'll take it. I thought for a second maybe he had like a scar up here, but I think it's just flash from the mold, because King Randor didn't have it. I want to say there was another character that had like a swappable hairpiece that doesn't have it, but I digress. Either way, putting this on, I like this a little more because it's different. It's got the winged helmet, which I don't know, that doesn't seem evil enough. It feels like he should have like a straight skull mask or something, but it does have a skull right on the front, so maybe that's where that's coming in. And as far as the other sword goes, like I said, I like to put it back here. I'll put the shield on the arm off cam so I don't waste a lot of your time. But as far as articulation goes, it's standard Masterverse fare. His head will rotate. It'll look up and down. It'll tilt. Not really. Shoulders can pop out, back down. They can rotate back and forth, but boy, they are pretty solid. At least on mine. This one's a little looser. I will say his biceps are not the tightest things, but they do work. And he does have double jointed elbows, which are a little hindered by the gauntlets. I don't remember that top joint being this tight. What's going on here? Hold on. Here we go. Slowly working it loose. But there you go, double jointed elbow. I don't know what the deal with that is. We got swivel hinge wrists. This hand has an appropriate hinge for holding stuff. The other one doesn't really need it because it holds a shield. That's fine. Torso can crunch forward. It can move back a little bit. It can tilt a little bit. It can rotate. It's got a waist cut. Hips can kick out, back down, forward, back. Not the tightest hips, but not the loosest. He does have those dreaded drop downs, but they're not stuck on him, so that's cool. He's got a thigh cut. He's got double jointed knee. Not nearly as tight as the elbows. He's got a swivel in the boot with a hinge in the foot and a rocker. This boot cut and this rocker is a little loose on mine, but it's not that big a deal. And he does have the peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So Anti-Eternia He-Man is pretty sweet, but again, he is the dud of the wave, ironically. But it's still freaking Anti-Eternia He-Man, so you know it's going to be at least a little bit better than average because it's Anti-Eternia He-Man. I just think it's funny that a character from like a German comic or something is like one of the main bad guys now. Like, who are you? Where'd you come from? I know they introduced him in a newer comic. He was like doing the whole Spider-Verse thing that Moreland did, going and killing the other versions of He-Man, but at any rate, that is Anti-Eternia He-Man in a nutshell. So with that being said, I think it is now time that we move right along and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is good old Anti-Eternia He-Man alongside the other figures available in this current wave of Masterverse releases. We have Mantenna and Mosquitor, or Mosquitor if you're like me and trying to piss someone else off in the comments. Both of which from the Evil Horde, both of which from New Etheria, both of which are solid in their own right, but stay tuned because we're going to be taking a look-see at this entire wave throughout the duration of the week. But I'm just going to tell you right now, that Mantenna has got a good chance of cracking the top 13 action figures of 2025 list, if you know what I'm saying. Getting these two out of the way, so we can make way for our two regulars. The Mythic Legion's brother, Mandibulith, right there, and the infamous 11 Spawn, who probably he's about even with the most evil man in the universe. I'm assuming that's his title. It's Anti-Eternia, for crying out loud. And not for nothing, I'm just going to get this right out of the way. This whole wave is card-carrying members of the Men in Red and Black Club. I know Mantenna doesn't have a lot of black on him, but he's got plenty of red. Mosquitor has plenty of black and red, and this guy has plenty of black and red too. So let's just nip that in the bud right here and wrap things up with some final thoughts. Overall, and if you wanted another He-Man for your Masterverse collection that's a little quote-unquote different than good old Anti-Eternia He-Man is, well, your man. I particularly like the fact that you can store the 3 swords in the shield and make this chunky Wolverine claw out of it. However, I will say the lack of an axe feels like an oversight. I would have rather have had that than swappable hair. Or if they're going to give us swappable anything for the head, just make it the head sculpt as a whole. I'm not sold on swappable hair just yet, so it does feel a bit odd to me personally. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Until next time, catch you guys later.